Welcome back, everybody, to We Talk Film. I am your host, Barry, as always, joined as... Oh, wait a minute. What? Clayton? Where you going, bud? Where you going? What's happened here?
Hello, Barry. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, Don. Everyone.
Come to me on the day of the podcast.
We're recording with Don Clayton today. Madon, how you doing, Madon?
Welcome, Don Barry. I'm doing all right, Barry. So I just had to take care of some business. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Hey, doing business at the table, but you know, Barry, it is something like that.
I know, on the day of your daughter's wedding as well. Just a mess, isn't it?
I know, Don Barry.
Well, obviously, everyone, you could tell if you're watching the YouTube video, especially, that today we are doing something special themed movie today. Do you want to explain what we're doing today, Don Clayton? Don.
You want me to explain what we're doing today? You come to me on the day of the podcast and you ask me what we're doing, and now you're over here laughing. Yep. You're laughing at me. You think I'm funny? You think I amuse you? Do I amuse you, Barry? Why do I amuse you? You think I'm some kind of clown for your amusement, Barry?
Are you joking now? Wrong franchise. You want to know how many scars?
Well, today... It was in Sicily, Batman. Today... Today, we're talking about the Godfather Trilogy. Hence the costumes, the intro, the whole shebang.
Everything. We're all looking fancy today.
I went and shot someone at the start for the podcast.
Yeah, I can still hear him screaming.
Part of it. I'll have to go back and finish him off. No, but today we're talking about all three Godfather movies, for better and worse.
All three, after how many months of me telling you to watch The Godfather, and you finally did it. And I am so happy.
It was since we met. You were like, should I watch The Godfather? I'm like, I haven't seen it. I have him on DVD. I haven't watched him. So yeah, we're talking about The Godfather.
So now we're doing the podcast.
It's our first ever flashback episode. We're gonna.
We're talking about classic films. We talk film classics. We still got to put film in there because it is a film.
We talk film presents classics.
We talk film presents classics. All right.
Perfect. Yes.
Perfect.
All right. Well, cheers to Barry. Before we get into The Godfather, he's got whiskey. I've got orange juice. Let's get into the news.
The
Newsweek today. Our top story this week, Simon Pegg, one of our favourite actors, is set to make a new movie with Edgar Wright, his long-term collaborator. But this time, it's something different. They're trying to move away from their standard comedy formulas of the movies they've done before and do something that neither of them have done before.
So like a super serious, depressed movie?
I don't know. From the sounds of it, it sounds like it's still going to be like a fun movie, but a bit more of a serious tone. Yeah. I'm sure that comedy can work well in a drama sense. But that'll be fine. Oh, and our next story ties into our episode today. Francis Ford Coppola. He predicts that we're close to a cinema golden age because of how well Barbenheimer did.
Nice.
It's so funny hearing Francis Ford Coppola say Barbenheimer was a win for cinema. Just those words coming out of his mouth.
That would have been interesting. I wonder if he did the Barbenheimer experience then. He probably did.
I hope so. You think so? He's very excited about it.
Yeah.
Moving away to another gangster filmmaker, Martin Scorsese. His daughter, right? Made a TikTok video that's a compilation of her dad doing all sorts of funny stuff.
Oh, yes. I have seen this video, and it was hilarious.
he's like picking up like a puppy, and he's like running around doing like dances and stuff.
Yeah,
and she calls him
not
a
what I was
certified silly
expecting
goose
from that man. Not what I was expecting from that man whatsoever. But it was great to see.
That's the guy. That's the guy who did Goodfellas.
That's the guy that did Goodfellas and put a guy's head in the vise. He wrote that. He made that happen. It was real. They just started filming.
Oh my god. Oh. Next story. Donald Glover, another actor that we're both big fans of. Well, a couple years ago, he portrayed Lando Calrissian in the Solo movie.
Yes, he did.
Well, Disney were in talks to make a Solo TV show. And they've just removed the original writer and replaced that writer with Donald Glover and his brother Steven. So they're now writing the show that he's starring in.
Yeah,
which is cool because I mean they're both good writers. They've written things in the past, and
yeah, well they've done all of Atlanta. I don't know if you've seen that TV show, anything about it. I've started watching a few episodes of it, and it is phenomenal. Like what they have written for that. So I understand why. But yeah, no, I'm all for that. Donald Glover coming back as Lando. That would be actually really cool to see. I really want to see like a sequel to Solo. I really like the Solo movie.
Yeah.
A lot.
I thought it was good.
So, yeah.
It was alright.
It was alright.
Yeah.
It was good.
Apart from Alden Ehrenreich. Anyway, let's not talk about Solo. Hey, see, we're talking about good movies. Yeah, gangsters and stuff.
Yeah, good movies. See? Gangsters.
Speaking of good movies. Speaking of good movies, Ryan Gosling from Barbie, right? The song I'm Just Ken that he sang in that movie on that soundtrack just reached number 2 on the Billboard Top 200. It's just, it's at number 2.
Okay, it's at number 2. God damn.
Reached number
all
2.
Right, that makes sense because, it is the best song of all time.
I'm just Ken, anywhere
it's got it on soundboard.
He's in my destiny.
Bless you, Ryan Gosling.
You have it on soundboard?
I still have it on the soundboard, man. We're keeping it. We're keeping it. We are Ken, Clayton. We are Ken. We're Ken-off.
It's great. It's the best that a song from a soundtrack has done since Encanto, I believe. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Considering that was a massive soundtrack. That would hit mainstream and everything. Yeah, those songs are on the radio.
Yep.
So this is awesome. Really awesome.
This needs to be on the radio 24/7. The Ken radio.
Oh, I would love that. Ken radio. It's just this and then Push by Matchbox 20 on repeat.
That would be great. Please make that happen.
I would listen to that. I want that to happen. All right, our next story. We got a couple of trailers. One of them I sent you. I think I sent it to the group chat at least, and it's the stupidest looking thing I've ever seen. It's called
Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna send you to it like a couple of days ago because I already got sent something, and then I was like, "Ha, this is funny. We need to talk about it on the podcast." And then I sent it to someone else, and then I forgot to send it to you. So yeah,
I found it anyway. It looks like it's the goofiest movie ever. It's like, what if Cocaine Bear wasn't a fast bear and was a slow sloth?
Yep.
Oh, I love it. I'm all for it. It looks stupid. It's so dumb. Probably gonna suck, but I bet it's gonna be great.
Still got to be better than the Meg 2.
Oh, that's why we're not talking about that movie.
Exactly.
Instead, we're doing something else. And okay, this is another wacky one. I don't know if you've seen this trailer for A24's first ever musical called Dix the Musical, starring Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh no. Oh no.
Did you watch the trailer? Have you seen the trailer?
I haven't seen anything for this whatsoever, and I don't want to see anything for this whatsoever.
It looks so stupid.
When you said Megan Thee Stallion's involved with it, I was like, nope, no, it's already bad. It's already bad.
Yeah, it's like the plot of The Parent Trap, but it's these two people that work together and they try and get their parents together, and then there's just lots of songs about how life is like a hand job and stuff. I'm like, it's so stupid.
Okay.
It looks like the worst piece of media I've ever seen, but I kind of want to watch it.
Is it better than Cats? I still want Cats. The asshole uncut version of Cats. Where's my assholes at?
I think everything's better than Cats, Barry.
I never watched Cats. Until they make the director's cut with the assholes back in.
The Zack Snyder cut.
The Zack Snyder cut.
4 hours of cat
black
buttholes.
And white 4x3. There we go.
So the butthole takes up the entire screen.
Yep. That's what I want.
And James Corden's there for some reason.
It's its butthole.
Oh, okay. We got one more normal story for this week. And this relates to something that we've talked about previously. Jonathan Majors, the actor who plays Kang in the MCU films, he was set to go on trial for some charges against him. His trial has been delayed till September 6th, so it's been pushed back a month. The reasoning is reportedly that the prosecutors are having trouble bringing forth the evidence that the court requires. So it's looking a lot more in Jonathan Majors' favor because the prosecutors are having trouble finding evidence to present. So hopefully he's innocent and it all goes well. It seems like it's turning up to be, but again, nothing set in stone.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because it's going to be like this, or Jonathan Majors' like career. That's going to be like out of all this. Everything, thankfully, at the moment, he still is Kang in the MCU. Yes. They are releasing the new season of Loki, which they did release a trailer for this week as well. And he is clearly in it everywhere and everything like that. So they still are banking on him. But I think Disney are just waiting on to see what the court case rules and then taking it from there.
Yes, which is fair enough. I mean, that's all they can do. I'm sure, considering he's a big part of their plan and a lot of money's on his stake, they're probably giving him the benefit of the doubt, which is something Disney don't do. So, so good for him, I guess. For now, we'll see what happens. Our last story this week, it's not quite a wacky one, Barry. It's more of a wacky ones. Look, it's wacky in a way that's really cool. Cool. Because WA's biggest ever movie, film, TV production is about to happen. Do you know what it's for?
Oh, we're talking about the show you're part of? Is that what we're talking about?
You're spoiling the fun. You spoiled the reveal, Barry.
Sorry, my bad. I forget what it's called.
Season 2 of The 12 is set to film in WA. It's going to be the biggest ever production that the state's ever seen.
Yay!
For Foxtel.
And it's starring Ryan Gosling, our own very own Clayton Ryan Gosling, alongside Sam Neill. See, right there, ladies and gentlemen, look at him. Look, Ryan Gosling. See that he's going to be on movie posters or posters everywhere. Look at him. Look at him.
So cool.
So yeah, like, well, how much have they said how much it's going to be costing and everything like that for it?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Not much is
part of the production as well. So what Barry, are you just like a background character?
No, Barry, I'm the star.
Okay. Can you please, when you go there, secretly fold like a We Talk film poster or something like that? We'll get one made up. And when they go to film, you pull it out like on the final take just to promote WTF in the background. Oh,
that would be great. I'm not going to lie, I might bring a poster and ask him if I can put it on a wall or something. Or put it on the wall where they're filming while they're not looking or something.
Why not?
I'll
just
try.
Like, get them. Get everyone. And if you see like any of them, just be like, hey, we run this podcast. You want to be on it?
We get Sam Neill on, because Sam Neill was the star of the first season. I want to ask him
about lamb. And T-Rexes.
Yeah.
You know, because he used to do those lamb adverts. I don't know if you remember.
He did. And and wilder people. He likes wilder
people. That's right.
He did that. Anyway, that's it for Newsweek.
That's it for Newsweek. That is the news, everybody. Hey, that's the news. So I suppose, Don Clayton, it is time to get in to the main course of our podcast. I'm doing it again, even though we're probably gonna get copyright striked on YouTube.
Hey, that's just business, Donberry.
That's just business. That's just business.
That's just business.
You're still gonna need to kill that guy. He's in the background. He's still screaming.
I got him, Donberry.
Okay, that's good. That's good, Don Clayton. You think you got him? All right.
Think I got him, Donberry. That's a detour. What are you doing here?
Okay,
that the notorious
so
mobster
yes.
Arthur?
Let us get us into probably one of my favorite trilogy of films ever made. Definitely one of these films, or two of these films, are definitely the best films ever made. For me anyway, and a big part of me going into this career and trying to do this is to basically, hopefully, one day make something like this film and get this like on the level of this film, because these films are absolutely amazing. So let us start with The Godfather Part 1. What is The Godfather? It was called 1972. And we'll do a little bit of a backstory. So director Francis Ford Coppola, writers Mario Puzo. Puzo? I forget his name. I don't know how to spell it. Puzo. So the storyline. The Godfather, Don Vito Corleone, is the head of the Corleone Mafia family in New York. He is at the event of his daughter's wedding. Michael Vito's youngest son and a decorated World War II Marine is also present at the wedding. Michael seems to be uninterested in the part of the family business. Vito is a powerful man and is kind to all those who give him respect, but is ruthless against those that do not. But when a powerful and treacherous rival wants to deal and sell drugs and needs the Don's influence for the same, Vito refuses to do it. What follows is the clash between Vito's fading old values and new ways may cause Michael to do the thing he most reluctant in doing and wage mob against mob, wars going everywhere, people dying against war against mafia families, and which could tear the Corleone family apart. So yes, that is basically the synopsis and what happens in The Godfather, starring Marlon Brando,
Al Pacino, that's about it.
James Caan, Diane Keaton, Richard S. Castellano, Robert Duvall, a whole list of other actors, and everyone. I always forget Robert Duvall and James Caan were in these films, especially Robert Duvall, when he got I think he won Best Supporting Actor for this film at Oscar. So.
Yeah, he was good in it.
Yeah,
he was good in it. Everyone's good in this movie.
Everyone's great in this movie. Especially when they didn't even want Al Pacino to be in this movie besides Francis Ford Coppola.
Really?
Yeah.
Al Pacino? He's like the guy, man.
Well, that's the thing, because at this point in time, no one knew who Al Pacino was at all. He was just some theater kid. And true. I'm not sure how. I still need to go and watch. There's a series on Paramount Plus called The Offer, which is basically about the making of The Godfather.
Oh, yes. I've heard that it's kind of bad, but yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, basically,
check
I was
it out.
watching something with Francis Ford Coppola earlier, where the studio and stuff like that. First of all, they didn't want Al Pacino starring as the lead role because some new kid. This was his first ever major film, first ever big film thing that he did, and he was just like, they were like, no, we can't have this. Marlon Brando, they didn't want Marlon Brando to be in this film because he causes such a ruckus being on sets and everything like that and doesn't get films made by this point. First of all, how they wanted to shoot it, having in the streets of New York and everything like that. They were like, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. They were going way over budget, which happens with most of Francis Ford Coppola's films.
Does that a lot, yeah.
Even with this one, it already started the trend. And yeah, so he was 29 when he first started making this film. So
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy. That
is
impressive.
Crazy.
Oh wow.
So yes, I have watched these films probably many a times over many years, probably over 20 years. I have seen the first two anyway, at least over a dozen times, well over a dozen times. So yes, what I will do, we'll kick it off with you because this is your first time ever watching The Godfather, Clayton. And what are your thoughts on these? Well, let's start with The Godfather.
The Godfather. Well, I went into this, I think Wednesday night, and I watched it for the first time ever. I've had this trilogy on DVD for over a year now, and I just haven't got around to watching it because they're 14 hours long each. So Wednesday night, I decided to throw on the first Godfather. Everyone talks about this movie. How good can it be? I'm sure that it's, bits of it have aged and this and this and this. And I watched it and I'm like, holy shit, that's one of the greatest movies ever made. That was fucking awesome.
Oh, yes.
Yes. It's weird how there was no action in this first movie. It's a lot of dudes sitting around talking, a lot of old Italian guys talking, and it's really good. You're hooked on every sentence that these guys say. It's like, whoa, and everyone that's in it is amazing. If you're an Italian American in the 70s, you're in this movie. It's like,
they just had everyone.
So crazy. No, but it's crazy how well each character's acted and portrayed.
Oh yeah, no, like the level of everything in these films, especially, well, even so much so like even the third one, but still talking about this one, it's at a whole nother level of like even mafia films that came out after this trilogy and like try to replicate it and everything like that. They just weren't on the same level as this one. Like the only good one really to me is like obviously Goodfellas, but that's more about like gangsters and everything like that, not really about Italian mafia and everything like that.
Wise guys,
like Italian mafia films. Yeah. And like this is probably like the best somewhat representation of that. And that comes from Francis Ford Coppola's background because he is American Italian, grew up with these types of people and everything like that. And apparently like the night of the premiere for this movie, they had actually the like mafia like mob actually come and see it. They had their own little premiere because they wanted to see this film made before anyone else. So there was like the secret premiere that was made done just for like all the mob families and stuff like that in New York so they could see it. And apparently they loved it.
I'd kill to be in that theater with them. That would be awesome.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because about that, like the FBI were all outside, all the cops were outside and everything like that. Bet. And they thought they were going to be taken down.
That feels like a scene from The Godfather.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, this movie's legacy speaks for itself. There's a reason that people quote this movie all the time. All of the Godfather quotes are in this first movie. It's and half of them are Marlon Brando because of his amazing performance as this old Italian guy that can't speak very loud. So
yeah. Like, well, that's the thing. I'm gonna ask you a question. Is this the first ever Marlon Brando film you've seen?
Maybe you might. Yeah, that's quite possibly true.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the case.
Well, that's the thing, because that comes down towards like the back end of his career and everything like that, where he started to get a reputation for like not being the best of actor to work with and everything like that. Because obviously this would be in what was it, 72? So this would have been
72.
When he was a bit older, getting on in age a bit already, because he'd already been around for 40 years and was like one of the biggest actors in Hollywood during that time when he was around. But that's the thing. He started to get a reputation where he was causing havoc on sets and not like making productions happen and stuff like that. But this movie turned into something.
Oh no!
Simply,
I saw him in Superman.
Oh, you saw him in Superman? I always forget that he was Superman's dad.
In Apocalypse Now, I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen those two.
Nice.
A bunch of them are on the list. But
got a whole bunch on the list. And a couple
bunch on the list. A couple things on the list. I'll get around them.
Yeah. So basically, we'll get into somewhat a little like synopsis, more details of the story for people that haven't watched The Godfather and should go and watch it. But basically, what it entitles is you have Michael Corleone, the youngest son of Marlon Brando's character, Don Vito Corleone, who is at this point in time at the beginning of the film, is the Godfather. Everyone calls him the Godfather. And basically what this film does over the period of that is you see the Corleone family get involved with other mobs. Some of them die. You got Sonny Corleone, which is the oldest brother of the family who was meant to be the next Godfather, sadly dies. Then Michael starts to get involved with the family business and he wants nothing to do with it. He's just like, I'm a good boy. I don't want to be part of this family. I don't want to do anything. I signed up to the military. He was a World War II hero, everything like that. And then he comes back. Things start to happen. His dad gets almost assassinated. Well, his entire family almost gets assassinated besides him because the other mob family see him as a civilian. He's not part of it. And
spoilers.
Spoilers. Wherever my spoiler button is. I don't have my spoiler button.
Didn't press the button.
What happened to it?
Oh.
There it is. We always forget the spoiler buttons, always. And it's the first button on the soundboard.
That's fine.
So
the movie's been out for 50 years. I think it's fine.
Yeah, you got fine. You got fine. Over 50 years now. It's the 50th anniversary last year. Or 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I can't remember. But yeah, basically Michael starts to get involved because he sees his family basically getting shot up and he wants to do something about it. Because the big overall theme for this one, anyway, for the first movie, or even so much through the entire trilogy, is family. You have to protect your family and do what's best for your family. And so he starts to get involved. He then murders people. He then has to go to Sicily.
Oh, a lot of people.
Yeah, well, he kills 2 people at the beginning. He goes to Sicily for like 3 years, gets married, has a whole life over there.
Yeah.
He dies. The wife dies. Yep.
Car explosion. That was
all right.
That was mental.
Yeah.
See that coming?
I was not expecting that the first time I watched it. I was like, oh, shit.
Neither. I was like, he's going to have to tell his other wife about this wife. This is going to be interesting. And then she dies.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
Well, that's the thing, because his other wife, which was his girlfriend at the time, obviously they separated when he started to get involved with the family and everything like that. So he left. Then he comes back to America and then he's like hooks up with his old girlfriend again, played by Diane Keaton. And
cool. I like doing this.
They're just like, yeah, I'm doing things. I am now becoming the Don of the family. And obviously then
I'm a Godfather.
Vito passes away, sadly, of old age, which was kind of surprising, to be honest. Like
in the garden, yeah.
In the garden, the tomato garden, which kind of comes full circle when we talk about the third one. So,
yes, because there's tomatoes.
Yeah. And then basically you see the rise of a man into becoming the Godfather. This is basically how he became the Godfather. And that's basically the overall story for the first one. And how well this movie was shot, like you were saying, how well it was acted. I think that acting was definitely sold it a lot more than anything else in this one. Really? Yeah, it carries the movie. Because they're definitely the filmmaking and everything like that in the second one. Because the second one's my preferred one out of the trilogy. And we'll get into that when we talk about the second one. But yeah, just the level of like Al Pacino's acting in this is phenomenal. And that's the thing. This was his first ever like major gig. So maybe he was just putting all the extra effort in and everything like that. And you just see like it's so like funny to see. Like you see him at the beginning, he's all happy and cheerful and he's like, I don't want anything to do with that side of the family. And he's just like not affected by the family business whatsoever. And then you get to by the end of it and he's just like, he's a whole totally different person.
No, it's just tell me about it. Good old Cappuccino. He's a good actor.
Cappuccino. And then you always have Robert Duvall, who plays as Tom Hagen, who's the adopted brother, who is the lawyer of the family, basically making sure all the stuff goes around. Him. And then you also got Fredo Corleone, which is the other brother, and also the sister. I forget the sister. Connie. Yeah, played by Talia Shire as well. So yeah, and I'm looking through the cast right now. So many of them sadly passed away now. Well, Robert Duvall's passed away, hasn't he? As well, he passed away recently.
Half the people in this movie are dead, Barry. I hate to break it to you.
Well, that's the thing, because like Al Pacino's like 80. he's getting old, even though he just had a kid. Even though he just had a kid.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just what a phenomenal film. And that's the thing, like this came out in early 70s. So like even still before Star Wars, everything like that. And someone as well to be like able to make a film like this in the early 70s. And let's think, the companies and the Francis Ford Coppola, he was saying on this interview I was watching, they didn't want to at the beginning. They were afraid because of how much like detail they go into this film and how like the mafia works and everything like that. They were very afraid. Like, it's like, can we actually do a film like this? And it's like, why not? Let's see what happens. I have a question about that. Did this movie like catch on straight away with the wider audiences, or did it? It did. It was just a straight hit. Away. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Basically, like
really
overnight, it changed Francis Ford Coppola's entire career. Because he was basically doing what you and I are doing. He was making these small little like films, trying to get somewhere type thing, and these little short films.
And he made The Godfather.
And then he made The Godfather. And it was just like, hey, I'm a big time director now. Because like his
bit of a step
father
up.
was like a really well-known musician as well. And his like brother was like a well-known writer. Because his dad actually did the music scoring for, well, he did. I know he did a music piece for Godfather, but he actually won an Oscar for the music in part 2.
Oh,
because his dad did the music for part 2. So yeah.
That's awesome. Because
we
can talk about the music more
or something like that. Yeah.
I know the name.
You love the music.
Yeah, the music. I love the music in this movie, in the whole trilogy. The music throughout, it's just weirdly, it draws you in. You know exactly what you're watching just from the start of the theme song. Like,
yep.
It's weird how you can encapsulate the whole mobster mafia Godfather feeling into a song. It's so impressive just from a musical standpoint.
Like it just sets the theme for the movies, doesn't it? Because like when you're like looking at all these people and stuff like that, you're just like, that's the type of music I would expect to like see for this type of film. Like, and that's the thing about this film. It feels so realistic almost in all of its
still
actions,
a fantasy,
everything. It does, but it's still a fantasy. Like it's not based on anything real or anything like that. That's the thing, because Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo, who was the writer
based on the novel,
book,
isn't it? Yeah,
based on the novel, because he wrote the novel. He did his own work and everything like that for that. They didn't really know much besides like what Mario wrote and everything like that, what he was trying to investigate, where Francis Ford Coppola was just like, I don't know anything about mafia, but I want to make a movie about it. I know Italians.
It seems like he did good. Hey, I feel like just knowing Italians is you're halfway there.
yeah. But yeah, just like the overall aesthetic and like the shots and everything that they did.
I love it.
It just felt real. Like you could imagine this actually being a real event that happened type thing, like an historical thing. But it was just like, no, it was just a story, and then that's it.
I got to talk about something in this movie. The violence, the action scenes in this movie, I think are some of the best that I've ever seen. When people get shot, it feels like they get shot. And one scene in particular where a guy gets shot in the eye, close up through his glasses.
Yes,
I don't know how they did that.
Yeah,
how did they do that shot? 1972, they shot this guy in the eye.
We need to investigate how they did shots.
Surely there's a YouTube video on that, because that's
there would
amazing.
have to be. There would have to be.
It's so well done.
Videos on like how they've done stuff.
Even compared to like newer gangster movies, like something like Goodfellas, the violence in this one feels more real. People get shot and they get blown back. I think it's either this one of them where the guy gets shot in the legs with a shotgun and he just gets like flipped over in Sicily, and it feels weirdly real. Considering, like you said, both of them knew nothing about mafia and had never made a big-ass movie like this.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how well this came together. Oh, man. Masterpiece of a film.
It is a masterpiece of a film. Simply, wonderful. And that's the thing. To be able to like make something like this is just outstanding. Like it literally came out of nowhere. And then now, probably forever, like people in the film industry anyway will be talking about these trilogy of films being like, oh my God, this is like, well, that's the thing. How quotable is this film? Every like, well, it was even in Barbie. We were like, it's in Barbie. It was in
Barbie. The Godfather's in Barbie.
Yeah, it's
and we're
one of
talking
those
about
films,
it right now, 50 years later.
I know that I think is going to be remembered for as long as like humankind loves to watch movies and everything like that. It's always going to be remembered for those types of things. So what I suppose we could do is, since we're talking about each individual film, we could give a rating for each individual film. So what would be your rating for The Godfather?
Well, Domber, I'm going to make you an offer you cannot refuse. I'm going to give this film a 10 out of 10. Because this was my favorite of the trilogy. I know you like the second one better, but this was my favorite. Mostly for Marlon Brando, but just this was my favorite. The first, because it's the first one, it's just so much more impressive.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because like they never wanted to do a second one, and they never wanted to do a third one. Well, not Francis Ford Coppola, anyway. The studios definitely
made so much money they had to. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. This is like just the one and done like type thing. Well, he thought it was anyway, until he was like, "Oh, wait a minute, this got too big." But yeah, no, it is a simply wonderful film. Just amazing. Like how many like scenes I can recall and everything like that, and just the level of acting done by Al Pacino and Marlon Brando is phenomenal. By the both of them, and like Robert Duvall and James Caan and just everyone involved in this film. But yes, I am still going to give this movie, even though I do prefer the second one more, I'm still going to give this film a 10 out of 10 because it is still phenomenal. To me anyway. And that's the thing, because it depends on like my mindset of like where I am with other watching films and stuff like that. It depends, like, do I like the first one more or do I like the second one more? And at the moment, I prefer the second one more just because of what it touches on and everything like that. It's a bit more like, yeah. So I suppose since we've rated that, let's get on to The Godfather Part 2.
We're gonna play the same song over and over because it's good.
I think that guy's still alive though. I can still hear him. He's still alive, Clayton. Oh no, the camera got moved.
Johnny, so hard the camera moved.
The Godfather Part 2, 1974, which runs for 3 hours and 22 minutes. I think that makes it the longest
tell me about
the trilogy. But I saw this film. So the storyline for this one is continuing the saga of the Corleone family. It tells the story of a young Vito Corleone, played by Robert De Niro, growing up in Sicily and in the 1910s New York, and follows Michael Corleone in the 1950s as he attempts to expand the family business into Las Vegas, Hollywood, and Cuba. And yeah, oh my gosh. So first of all, the reason why I love this movie even more, because it has one of my favorite actors of all time in it, Robert De Niro, obviously from the Goodfellas and everything like that. And I did not expect him to be an Italian.
Makes a good Italian.
It makes a good Italian. That's because he's a phenomenal actor.
Yes,
but yes, obviously directed by Francis Ford Coppola and writers Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo. And yeah, this movie is on a whole just continues the story of Michael Corleone. That's the whole trilogy, I suppose, is Michael Corleone. So what are your thoughts on Part 2 of The Godfather, Don Clayton?
Second one. Okay, so a couple days after I watched the first one, this was a Friday night, I was like, okay, why don't I... No, it wasn't a Friday night. It was last night. It was a Saturday night. I went, well, you know what? Let's watch the second one for the podcast. I've got to do that. I saw the runtime was nearly 3.5 hours. And I'm like, oh God, Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to start this in the afternoon.
Oh my God.
Oh God, yeah, I started watching it at like 5 o'clock and then it was done by like 9 because I was like, oh man. I was pretty dead after watching this movie. But holy shit, was it good.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Oh, very. All right, there's a reason that I like the first one better. It's because I think the stuff in the present with Al Pacino worked better in the first movie. In the second one, not so much. But I loved the flashback stuff in the second one. I loved the De Niro stuff more than I loved the Al Pacino stuff. So I kind of just wanted it to be a prequel.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know if is that a common thing about this? Does people prefer that?
Yeah, every time like I see stuff online, it's always 50-50 with part 1 and part 2. So like, I think on even IMDb, which I'm looking at stuff like The Godfather has, the first one anyway, has a 0.2 rating more than part 2. But then like other websites, I've always seen people put like part 2 higher than The Godfather and stuff. So it's always it's mix and match between these two. And I think maybe because Godfather Part 2 might be like more seen as like the better film type thing because it won more Oscars. So I don't know.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Yeah, well, again, this one was awesome and really well shot. Better shot than the first one. They took a lot of little experimental things with it. Not as many memorable moments as the first one. Not as many quotable lines, but it was still really good. Every line was really gripping. All of the performances carried over and were really good, especially people like his brother Frito, characters like that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Shine. It feels like everyone around Al Pacino shines in this one, whereas he shone in the first movie.
Ah, okay.
It was just really good.
Yep. Yep.
Al Pacino doesn't really change over this one. He's just kind of sad and kills a lot of people. And then at the end, he's more sad and he kills a lot more people. Whereas the world around him kind of changes. We get all the stuff in Cuba, which was really cool.
Yep.
We get a lot more old dudes killing old dudes, but flashback stuff was what really hooked me. I was always gripped on those. The De Niro stuff, awesome. It's weird how good a Marlon Brando De Niro does. It's weirdly how good he is.
Well, that's the thing, because I'm like looking at stuff on IMDb right now. Apparently, like Robert De Niro spent 4 months learning to speak Sicilian before actually filming this. So he actually understood everything and everything like that for it. So yeah, he did like a phenomenal job as like a younger Marlon Brando.
You could have told me he is Sicilian and I would have believed you, because
I know, and his background's Irish. Like, come on.
It's weird just how awesome he was. And all of the scenes in the past, I loved. I wanted more of that. I wanted more of him stalking around the rooftops to shoot some corrupt-looking mustache man, and hiding guns in chimneys. More mafia stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because I'm like kind of surprised because they like did all the stuff about Vito. It would have been interesting to see if they actually had ideas maybe at one point to make part 2. If they didn't call it part 2, like actually about Vito, like the rise of Vito a bit more. Or something like that. Maybe really that was an idea, and then they were like, "Oh, we kind of need to show more of Michael again, because this is his like continuing his story and everything like that for it." So
I mean, it makes sense. It was far from bad, that's for sure. I loved it, but it's like I also loved this a little bit more, and I think most of that is because it felt like the mafia video games, that kind of vibe that it was giving off, and I'm just like, this is so good. So good. I want more.
Oh yeah.
I want more good gangster.
Just
Godfather
go back and
movies.
rewatch them, man. Just go back and rewatch them. That's what you have to do.
I have them right here. I can rewatch them whenever I want.
You do. Exactly.
It's going to sit on my shelf for another year because I don't have another
that's the thing,
14 hours to put aside.
Like The Godfather, well, especially the first 2 anyway, I go back and watch those films yearly. They're like one of the films I go back and watch at least once a year. The first 2. Anyway. Because that's the thing, that they are simply phenomenal films to me. Like just the way the actors are, the way that it was shot, well, especially more the second one, how the second one shot a bit more, I prefer than the first one.
I agree with that. Yeah, the cinematography is better in the second.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, so
the first one's so much better.
Oh yeah, first one is still phenomenal film.
Love it.
Absolutely, just phenomenal film. But going to the second one, I think I've watched these films so many times over the years and everything like that, and I've slowly grown, like just older, seen a lot of shit, blah 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 stuff in my life, and like I can like see how Michael is
Corleone
in this film like a lot more, and the reason why he is the way that he is in this film, and I can like actually like reminisce in that kind of like to like real life a bit more. It's like like all the stuff that he's gone through and everything like that. And it's so good, I think, even as well. On my opinion, Al Pacino's acting is actually even more better in this film than the first one.
I agree with that too.
Because just by his stare, he doesn't have like really any lines whatsoever in this film. Al Pacino, well, Michael Corleone, well, he still like obviously has because he's the main character and everything like that. But it's what gets me the most is the way he looks at people. And doesn't look away from them.
He's really
whatsoever.
Good. Really good.
He's just constantly, if he doesn't get his way, he would just stare at you. Doesn't even blink or anything like that. And then the camera's just like zooming in like slowly, subtly onto him. They can't see it on the podcast at the moment, Clayton. The cam's on me. The camera's on me.
You got magic cameras.
I got magic cameras. And like that's the thing, because he's so much threatening in this film than even the first one, because obviously now he has to hold his power as the Godfather, being one of the heads of the mafia families and everything like that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, a lot of pressure is put onto him, because in this film, what happens and everything like that, everyone around him is trying to kill him. His family betrays him.
Yes, literally.
So many times in this film. Literally.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, like his brother, Vito?
Yo.
Fredo. That's right, Fredo.
Fredo Frog.
Fredo Frog.
Shout out him. He was my favorite side character in this one. I love that actor.
Sure
he was great.
That guy got nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah.
So
I watched The Deer Hunter the week before, and he's in that as well.
He's also in that.
I love him.
And in the director's cut, I will tell you a fun story about that film once we get into it.
Spoilers!
When we get into director's cut. So make sure, everyone, to go and listen to the director's cut only on YouTube. Shameless plug right there.
Shameless.
Some fun facts about that film.
the thing.
Yeah.
Shameless.
But yeah, it's just like, it shows how much of like pressure is put on Michael. Because you got Fredo, he finds out, betrays him, and basically almost had him murdered. And then his wife also betrays him by getting an abortion of their son, or what would have been their son. And that's on a whole nother level as well with Diane Keaton. And that's also the thing, like the cinematography for this film is on a whole nother point. How they did the like 1910 scenes with going to Robert De Niro, because Robert De Niro won Best Supporting Actor for this film.
Good.
And he's a standout in this film. Is this phenomenal? Like you said, I loved every single one of those scenes about the rise of Vito Corleone and how he went from Sicily, went to America, and then basically made his own empire. How he made and became the Godfather, and then obviously passing that on to Michael. And then you see Michael's being the Godfather, and he doesn't know who to trust. He doesn't know what to do because everyone in his family. And that's the thing. By the end of this one, he is already becoming a broken man. He's basically been betrayed by everyone. He's had to kill his own brother. He kicked his wife, or split away from his wife, the person that he absolutely loved and had kids with and everything like that. Just full on, just shuts the door on her face, which is reminiscent to obviously the first film, because at the end when he becomes the Godfather, the door closes on her.
Closes the door on her. Yeah.
Where this time he actually closes the door on her while looking at her. And
I love symbolism.
And his overall
metaphors
stare and his threats that he does in this film to remain in power, because obviously they're the other mafia families, and there's the whole Senate thing where he has to go to court. They're like, they want him away. They want him dead or like in jail. They don't want him at all for mafia. But he just like comes up with new ways and starts threatening them. He's like, all right, I can do this. I can do that. And when he sets up, I forget the two partners, whatever, because obviously like his family gets shot up at the beginning and they nearly get assassinated, and he's trying to find out who they were. That's right. So there's two characters he goes to see this film, Frankie Pentagali and Hyman Roth. So they're like two family members.
Right.
Hyman Roth is the guy he's trying to get in touch with, because he's the guy that's allowing him to go into Las Vegas and trying to make the Corleone family into that type of trade, because he still wants to be like non like gangster, isn't he? Wants it all.
He wants to go legitimate
type thing. Wants to go legitimate, and this is already the beginnings of that in this one. And so he puts it down to being those two people, and just those scenes, if you like watch them real closely, the way he looks at those two actors and everything like that, it's fixed contact the entire time. And then when he eventually finds out when Fredo was the one that betrayed him and everything like that, he just like grabs him by the neck and makes Fredo stare at him and just be like, I know you did it type thing. Like, I know
he's
you did
crying
it,
and trying to get away. Oh man.
And that's that whole thing goes down in Cuba, and and it's such like almost like a tragedy as to what happens, because he's trying to do everything for his family. Like the whole point of the Corleone family is to do everything you can, make all this money, all the power and everything like that, is to help your family. And then he's betrayed literally by everyone around him almost. Besides his sister. His sister's absolutely amazing. Connie. She's like the one that supports him throughout it all. Yeah. Even in the later one. And then obviously Robert De Niro's acting performance as a young Vito Corleone, and it was just phenomenal to see. Like it would have been really cool if they actually did a film about Vito Corleone with Robert De Niro.
Oh, hell yeah.
That would have been really cool to see as well. So
very cool. That's what the third one should have been. That's what they should have done for the third one.
Well, the third one didn't get made to 20 years later, so, you know.
Yeah, well, they should have just made it better one earlier.
And that's anyway. Because the end result of, obviously, part 2 is, like, Michael Corleone is a man to be feared by everyone, even by family type thing. You just don't mess with this man because he's willing to do anything to get his way. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to give this one, Godfather Part 2, also a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, because I just find it simply wonderful. And like I said, it always depends on like what mood I am, depending on the first and the second one. But the first two Godfather films, to me, are just wonderful. They are absolutely wonderful films. Yes. The level of acting, everything like that involved with both of them, there's a whole nother level. Like there's no other films even today that still don't come to this level sometimes of like what these films did. And this is the thing, this is early 70s when they were doing all this as well. So over 50 years ago. And it's just like, wow.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how well these first two movies hold up, considering that it's like, like first big time director, some first big time stars, an absolute masterpiece of a movie. The second one, I'm going to give a 9.5 out of 10. It's so far off of being completely perfect. There's a few things that I'd do a little bit different, focusing more on the past and doing some more of this other stuff, maybe having some more, just some more depth into Pacino's character as well, considering they're doing the both timelines. It's kind of hard to do that. This is probably the best they could have made this movie. Yeah, it's just some little personal things that make it a 9.5. Nothing big, nothing that really matters. It's just very minor things. Knock it down to a 9.5, which is still a really freaking good movie. And I will watch these eventually because I'm glad that you told me to watch these, Barry, and I'm glad I did because they're both really good.
All right. Oh, I suppose we'll get into Godfather Part 3 then. I think that guy's still alive, Clayton. I think he's still alive. Okay. He's in the corner. He's in the corner. All right, last time, I promise. Last time. So yeah, The Godfather.
He shot himself
Part 3,
that time. I wasn't involved.
1990. Obviously.
Oh wow!
Almost 20 years later, follows Michael Corleone, now in his 60s, as he seeks to free his family from crime and find a sustainable successor to his empire. And yes, everyone involved again for it. I'm surprised they actually came back after 20 years of doing it, because even what Francis Ford Coppola said, he wasn't sure if he wasn't going to come back and do it. They didn't have plans for it. And that's the thing. There's so many like weird little stories about this, because I don't know if you realize, and it depends like what version you have. There's 2 different versions of Part 3.
I know. I have the Coda version. I have the recut version.
You have the Coda version?
Which is what I watch. Yeah. Which is
that's
apparently the better version.
I watch mainly. Yeah. That's more like, that's a director's cut, basically.
Yes, it's moved
Coda,
around.
The Death of Michael Corleone. And it's even shorter than the original cut, apparently.
Oh, thank God. It's only 3 hours.
It's only 3 hours. So yes, and this was the first one where it introduced Andy Garcia as Vincent in this, a very young Andy Garcia.
That's right. Yeah.
When I first watched this, because I think I already watched Ocean's movies before I started watching Godfather.
Oh,
like Ocean's 11, because he was obviously the villain in that. Well, they steal the money off. So like I already knew who Andy Garcia was because of that. And then like I remember watching this, being like probably around the same time, being like, hey, it's that guy, but he's younger.
That guy from that thing,
This guy there from that thing, and he's not there. So yes, in the final installment of the Godfather Trilogy, an aging Don Michael Corleone seeks to legitimize the crime family's interests and remove himself from violent underworld, but is kept back by ambitions of the young. While he attempts to link the Corleone's finances to the Vatican, Michael must deal with the machinations, I don't know, of hungrier gangster seeking of upset an existing mafioso order and a young protege love affair with his daughter. Oh yes. So this is definitely the downfall of the trilogy. You could say it's definitely not the one everyone prefers. That's for sure.
I don't think anyone prefers this one, bro.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm still happy that this one got made. I'm still happy.
It's good.
It's good because it shows the overall. When you watch the trilogy, it's like you see the overall life of Michael Corleone, which is the entire trilogy. That's what it's meant to be about. I suppose it's meant to be the rise and fall of Michael Corleone. But yeah,
the top layer of the cake.
There's just some things in this one that are just like, okay, sure,
yeah,
whatever.
So I'm sure whatever.
So take it away, Clayton. Take it away.
Okay, well, I watched this movie this morning. I watched it with breakfast and I watched it with lunch because it was long.
Oh yeah.
But yes. So yeah, I went into this one. No,
it's not that long compared to part 2. It just feels long.
It felt longer than part 2, if I'm being honest, because at least part 2 had me hooked the whole way through. And this one, I knew that this was the one that most people didn't like as much. But I was like, it's a Godfather movie. The first 2 are masterpieces, and this is one he didn't want to make. It was never going to be as good as these 2. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to throw it on. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to enjoy it and try not to compare it to the first 2 as hard as I can, apart from story. And I did enjoy maybe 70% of this movie.
Yeah.
And then there was some stuff that I wish wasn't in the movie, or that they just did differently, and fixed. And I know that this movie went through a lot of production hell during the making of it.
Yes.
I know they had about 6 other actors they wanted before casting Sofia Coppola because they were stuck. They wish that they casted someone else because she was terrible in this movie. Every other actor was good. Pacino was good in it. Pacino's son, Garcia, was awesome, like ridiculously good, in a way that it felt like it was reminiscent of the first 2 Godfathers, kind of like a combination of
Andy Garcia's
Brando and that
is meant to be Sonny's son.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Sonny was
his
the
nephew.
older brother. Yeah, he's his nephew.
Right. Yeah, that's
his illegitimate nephew.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. So his nephew. Sorry, not his son. I got confused. They're Italians. He was gonna be his son at some point because he's banging his cousin.
Ugh.
We're gonna.
Yep. Italians.
I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, even the Italians were against it in this movie. They were kind of like, "What are you doing, you weirdo? Stop that!" And then Mr. Francis was like, "Hey, my daughter, bang your fictional cousin," or something. I don't know. It was weird. Also, I liked the Pope cameoed in this movie. He's one of my favorite side characters. Two popes actually, because one of them dies. Yeah, this movie again, it was boring. I can't remember what happened in it. I remember there was some cool moments. Like the moment where all of the old Italian dudes are in top of the place, and then the helicopter like shoots at them or something. They shot out through the window.
Yeah, where they all die.
That was a really cool segment. Some scenes, all of the violent scenes in this movie were really good, but they were few and far between.
Yeah.
Ending was kind of bad.
I think this is where we get this amazing line.
I can hear it.
Okay.
Is it playing?
That's all right. I'll put it in post. It's really really quiet.
No.
It's just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Oh yeah,
that scene was in the kitchen.
That's a good line.
Yeah. That is a good line.
Good line.
It's probably the only good line.
I do like the very end where it flashes back to for the first Godfather movie, where they're all like, "Oh, Marlon Brando's coming to dinner," and it's revealed that he's going off to the military. Felt cool.
That's part
the whole
2, buddy.
flashback thing.
That's part 2. That's
part 2.
That's the end of part 2. That's the end of part 2.
I watched both of them over the span of 12 hours. Give me a break. Don't mind. One was okay.
Yeah. That's
probably never going to watch this one again. It's okay.
No, this one, I've probably watched it twice. I've only the only reason why I watched it twice is because I wanted to see like the variations between like his original, the original idea and the new one.
That's 2 different movies, really. I'm okay with that. That's fine.
Yeah. So that's the only reason why I've watched it twice. All right. Yeah, basically still same. But yeah, this one definitely like fell off the ball a lot more. I think it mainly was because it was 20 years later that they came to doing this. By this time, gangster movies weren't really a big hype thing either.
This was before Goodfellas too. Before Goodfellas, right?
Yeah.
Before Reservoir Dogs, before Goodfellas, before all of that. It's like 92, 90, maybe even
1990,
later.
so the exact same year.
Oh, okay. So, but it was so before Goodfellas when they're making it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, true.
So that's probably like
true.
what also affected as well because you saw Goodfellas coming out with Scorsese.
Off the Italians they wanted in it for in that one.
Yeah, this whole new thing. Like, and it was a lot more like bloody and everything like that. But yeah, this one was just like, it was mainly, I don't know, it just like, it doesn't hook you as much as the first two, you know?
No, it's
even
weird.
though like Andy Garcia's performance is great in this, and same thing as like an older Al Pacino, and you see him basically because like the whole point of the story, he's trying to get redemption. He's got diabetes, and he's also trying to get redemption.
Redemption, yes,
for all the like shit he's done wrong in his life, like killing his brother and stuff like that, because that's still like a burden that hangs over him. And that's the reason why he's like going to the Vatican and like help funding him and stuff like that, because it also is like kind of benefiting him in his way, but he also wants to find redemption. He wants to be a better man before he dies,
and he doesn't.
Unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Things get even more worse, and then obviously, his daughter gets shot up and dies in the end, and he dies an old man in Sicily.
I know, it feels so good. And then she falls
I know,
over. That was the worst, Mr. Stark. The worst death. It was the worst death I've ever seen. I laughed at that. Like, God, that was stupid.
Yeah, I can't remember because like the deaths are different depending on like which one you watch.
Oh, okay. Well, in Coda, she gets shot and she looks at Al Pacino and she's like, "Oh no!" And then she falls over sideways.
No, I think that stays the same. But like his death, at the end,
he doesn't die in this one. It's
that's
left
right. That's
on
right.
a hanger.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, he's sad and crying.
Yeah,
and
because that's the thing. Like in the first one, he dies. He does die in the original cut. He does die. Like you see him fall over out of a chair, and he's in Sicily, and he's just like, okay, cool. And there's a little dog there as well. It was like, it's such a weird clip as well because it's literally just like Al Pacino just falling over in a chair. And it just looks so like, what the hell, man?
It's awesome. I'm gonna have to go watch that soon because that sounds funny.
Yeah, it is kind of funny because he's like even older makeup because he's meant to look like even older than he is type thing because he's meant to be like in his 90s or whatever by that time. And and that's the thing, like this one, just doesn't have the same hook as it does.
It's weird because it does a lot of the things right that the Godfather movies do. It does kind of a lot of similar things. But
well, that's the thing because it's the exact same people that made the original two, and everything, doesn't grab you. And it just doesn't grab you. Like it's just like okay, sure.
It's because we've seen two perfect movies beforehand, and this one's just like lackluster.
And that's the thing. I think maybe because like it was done 20 years later, this would have been after they made Apocalypse Now. I can't remember when did Apocalypse Now come out.
Just before, maybe after. Hang on,
just
look it up.
Yeah, I think Apocalypse Now was in the 80s, wasn't it?
I'm not quite sure actually, Barry. Let me look this.
Because that's the thing. There was kind of like just a downfall.
Apocalypse Now was 79.
79, yeah. So that would have been after the first two.
After the first two.
Yeah, so like during the 80s and everything like that, Francis Ford Coppola's like films like kind of went downhill almost after Apocalypse Now. Because that's the thing, Apocalypse Now, even though it's a phenomenal film and everything like that, and one day we might talk about it on the podcast. The whole backstory to making that film sounded like an absolute nightmare. Like, oh my God, I would never want to go through production hell like that. That was just like on a whole another level. Even though like Apocalypse Now is probably one of the like another great like film ever made, or at least war film ever made. And but yeah, just the production of that and everything that went down, maybe like that affected him on his like films afterwards. He was just like, fuck it, I don't want to go through hell again. So that's maybe like why like all the other films that he did like after Apocalypse Now were just bad. and now he's working on a new film called Metropolis. And apparently, it's already gone like way over budget. They've spent like $1 billion on it, and it's just apparently a shit show. Like all the actors are like, "This is fucking horrible to work on," and everything like that.
Yeah,
but, you know.
Oh well.
Francis Ford Coppola films. Cheers.
Made the guy. He made some good ones. It's fine.
He didn't
need to make anything else. Could have just done the first 3 things that he did and then just stopped.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, he probably should have. He would have made his money anyway.
Well. Definitely. Yeah, these movies alone, really fucking good. The trilogy as a whole is well worth a watch. The third one, definitely, if you want to continue the story. If you don't like the first 2, don't bother with the third one.
I would say to at least everyone that if you're going into this, watch all of them first. Watch it as a complete trilogy, because that's it is the story
in a row
of
without
Corleone.
stopping.
Exactly. Do that.
You will
I've done that a couple times, so
you will feel like Michael Corleone by the end of that.
No, you will feel like Michael Corleone if you like binge watch back to back all the Star Wars films. I've done that also. That is a nightmare. So yeah, I would give
look like Palpatine by
Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather Part 3 or Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, whichever one you want to call it. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Like it still had elements to it that was still like a kind of a good mafia film and everything like that, but it really fell down.
Fell down. But
compared to the first 2, you're just like, what is this? What is this? Like, what happened? So
I like it because I still think it's a good movie, especially considering the first 2 are masterpieces. You just kind of find solace having fun with these characters and just seeing what happens next, even if it's not as good. I compare it to like, I don't know, the epilogue of Red Dead Redemption 2, where you're just kind of vibing with these characters. It's not as good as the rest of the story. It was this overall masterpiece tragedy, and then the end's just kind of, this is what happens next. Not as good.
Yeah.
And we could have ended it here, but I mean, you're having fun because you get to see what happens. Al Pacino, isn't it?
Yep.
7 out of 10.
Yeah. 7 out of 10.
7 out of
10. Not bad whatsoever.
It's good.
So yeah, they're still good films. Go and watch them if you haven't seen The Godfather. Everything like that. And yeah, so that has been our Godfather podcast. We did it. We talked about older films for once and phenomenal films that they still are. The first 2 anyway. And yeah, we did it.
We talk film presents classics. Is that what we're calling it?
Just presents the Godfather Trilogy. I don't know. Something along those lines.
Something
along those lines anyway.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. But I think that wraps it up anyway for this part of the podcast anyway. We are getting to that point where, we are going into now. So thanks for joining everyone for another episode of We Talk Film. Make sure to listen to it all everywhere on Spotify, everywhere, Apple Play Music. And if you want to see the director's cut of this, where we talk about even extra stuff like the Deer Hunter and go tell Clayton some stuff, make sure to watch that on YouTube. It's only found on YouTube. So we'll see you in the next podcast. So yes, that was The Godfather.
Break has stopped.
I always forget. No, that's right.
Moved everything.
It moved everything. It's all right. It's all right. I fixed it.
I trust Greg. God damn. Yeah, it's fine. Fine, just fine. Yeah. So what's up? What's up? Director's cut.
Okay. Director's cut.
What's up, YouTube?
Let's talk about The Deer Hunter, because that's another film we watched.
It was really fucking good.
Week. Ooh, I'm just adjusting things.
Last weekend.
Last weekend, yeah. So obviously another film starring Robert De Niro and the guy that plays Fredo. I forget his name.
Half the people in this movie. What's his name?
John
Gonzalo or something. Cazale. That's right.
Cazale. So basically, because he's passed away tragically after.
Yes.
Not far after. They actually filmed the Deer Hunter.
Right.
Because already he was suffering with I think it was cancer, or he had some sickness going on. Because he was actually girlfriend and boyfriend were partners with Meryl Streep at the time, who is also in this film.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the reason why he was in this film as well, and everything like that. Because because they didn't want his character or anything in that movie because of obviously he was like dying, and like 2 months later he did die after like filming all the stuff.
Oh,
and everything like that. So like they weren't gonna pay him for the movie. So what Robert De Niro ended up doing for the movie was basically like, all right, you get my paycheck.
Really?
Or like, yeah, it was like that Robert De Niro paid for him to be in this film.
A cut of it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Took like, a cut of it. So,
oh,
yeah. But The Deer Hunter is an exceptionally wonderful film as well.
Yeah. Director's cut Deer Hunter. Let's go. Oh, shit was awesome.
Let's talk. It was
vibing
awesome.
with it. It did lose me in a couple moments. Some of the cuts were jarring. When it jumps to the Vietnam stuff, it felt very sudden.
Yes.
Some things like that. But other than that, it's a really good movie. And it's the early 70s. How good can a movie of this scale be? Really? I mean, it was well done. I liked it. I liked De Niro's performances in it. And of course, what's his name? Cazale. He's funny in it.
And Walken.
And Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken.
It was weird seeing him so young because it's like he's been old forever, and then I'm like seeing young him, and I'm like, this guy doesn't exist.
Oh yeah,
so something's wrong. Yeah.
No, I remember like the first time watching that film too. I was just like, what the hell? Like, why is Christopher Walken? He looks like a totally different person. Like, I totally thought it was a different actor.
Yeah.
And while I was watching it, I was like, what? This doesn't look right. It doesn't look
Until he
right.
started talking. I hunting deers. I walking here.
I hunting deers. Deers.
His speech is actually better in this one, and it's weird. I don't know if that was like an age thing that got to him a bit, and that's why it was like that. But it's like, I don't know.
Maybe.
Always does stuff.
But yeah, it just kind of like shows you as well, like during the 70s, like how much of an influence still like the Vietnam War was on like films and like the world and everything.
That movie came out like 2 years after the Vietnam War ended, 2 or 3 years after, 74 or 75. Mental.
The Deer Hunter, 1978.
Oh, okay, never mind. Well, it's 7 years after. Still in the zeitgeist. That still happened.
Well, that's like because there were so many like films during that time, or like Apocalypse Now and everything like that. So the Vietnam War actually ended in 75.
Okay, so I was right, but I had my dates wrong. But I was right.
Yeah. So 3 years later. It came out 3 years later.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome. Wacky.
And that's the thing. It's such a wacky film as well, because that's the thing. Like this average guy and his friends and everything like that. And they're like, all right, we're going off to Vietnam now. And where I think majority of them, like, well, they died. The friend's legs got blown off and he became a crippled.
Yeah.
And Christopher Walken stays there. And then they start doing the whole Russian roulette thing, because that's what they were trained to do in the camps when they got captured.
Funky. One thing I wanted
De Niro's like, I want to go back and save my friend.
I wanted him to get, I don't know, tortured a little more. I have more build up to that because it feels like it was just really sudden. I know that's kind of what they were going for, but I would have liked to see them go off to Vietnam and be a little bit cheery first, similar to like a Full Metal Jacket or something for half an hour before they get caught. It's like, oh, let's go off to Vietnam, and then, oh, I haven't seen you in 3 years. Welcome to Vietnam. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it puts you right into the thick of it. That movie, even from the beginning, really. Like even Robert De Niro's character is like just like kind of depressed in a way. He's just like, oh, damn.
And then there's like 2 hours of them dancing at a wedding.
Yeah, that's right.
It was really good.
What a wedding films, wedding scenes in films back then.
That's true. And considering I got that movie for free, so that's another cool thing is I got that DVD for free.
Nice. You do win.
I got Deer Hunter, and I got Bruce Lee's The Game of Death, which was his last movie.
Oh.
I have yet to watch. It's sitting on my shelf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Talking about movies and stuff like that, I'm not sure if we mentioned it last
we
week.
talk movies.
We talk movies. We talk film. Sorry, we talk film. I don't know, sure if we mentioned it on the news last week, but basically, like Disney at the moment no longer producing physical DVDs and Blu-rays in Australia, exclusively Australia.
Bastards.
So yes, I'm not happy about that. So I did kind of do a little bit of a spending spree and got all the Guardians films on on 4K.
I don't blame you.
I got like a special edition steel book for Guardians 3.
Whoa. I have the first one on DVD, and I don't think I have the second one. I've got all my MCU ones behind me. You can see stacked up above my Star Trek Next Generation. It's from there to there is my MCU, and there's my Wong pop vinyl. But yeah, that's my MCU. I got one Guardians.
Good old Wong.
Wong. Yes.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I think out of like all the MCU stuff, the Guardians trilogy was definitely like my favorite. Just because like it started and now it's finished. Like I don't expect them to do anything more now. Obviously they will Star-Lord's character potentially, but they don't need to.
Will everyone that's left. They're gonna show up again, but that's it for the Guardians.
Unless they do like the whole Star-Lord and Nova thing, which you and I suggested when we talked about Guardians. They still need to do that. That'd be great. I just want to see Nova.
The legendary Star-Lord and Nova. That's the Nova. Bang. That's the Disney Plus title. Let's go. That would be sick.
Let's go. And obviously on the back burner of Disney-related stuff.
Before you move on, funny thing about that, right? I was playing Marvel Strike Force, the mobile game on my iPad.
Yep.
They introduced an event to include Nova, and the event is a storyline featuring Nova and Star-Lord journeying across space, and it's like a buddy cop. And I'm like,
oh my god.
Is that confirmed?
Someone listened to our podcast, buddy. Someone listened to our podcast.
Marvel Strike Force, if you're listening.
Kevin Feige, did you listen to our podcast?
Oh, Kevin.
But also talking about Disney-related shows and everything like that, and the disappointment of Secret Invasion that we talked about last week.
Yes, we're making it better.
Yeah, slowly making it better. But I was talking about something else. So you know that like cost $200 million to make, right? That show.
I don't know where.
Loki only cost $144 million to make, and already looks better than Secret Invasion.
Yeah, Loki already has 10 times the visual effects that Secret Invasion does. Where did this money go, Barry? Secret Invasion was a money laundering scheme. I'm calling it now. Disney had to launder some money. Had to get rid of some money.
Because that's the thing. Yeah, obviously the trailer for Loki dropped and everything like that. And
it looks really good.
Phenomenal. It's got thingy in it.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones. Okie dokie, Loki. But already, like, I'm so looking forward to this. Great. I'm so forward looking to Loki season 2. But most importantly, end of this month, we got Ahsoka coming out. They have changed certain days. They're going to be premiering the first 2 episodes on August 22nd. Is it 22nd? 22nd? I think it was 22nd.
I think so. That day rings a bell. It was something like that. Yeah, something like that.
And it's going to be like an hour and a half, those 2 episodes combined of Ahsoka.
40 minutes
premiere. Yeah.
Pretty standard, but it's also
but still, it's the first 2 episodes out of 8 episodes. It's a lot of Ahsoka, and they dropped like their final trailer for it, and the final trailer just got me so hyped. I am so hyped for this.
Looks good, man. It
does look good. It looks good, and I'm hoping that this is like above and beyond. Like, I want this to be like season 2 of The Mandalorian, even better than that.
I want it to be season 1 of The Mandalorian. I want this show to be the greatest thing ever.
Plus, because it's like they've got David Tennant as her robot butler thing, robot friend.
Oh, this one. I love David Tennant.
Yeah, so like he had more talking in this trailer this time around. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to see this like robot I forget the robot name.
I can't remember.
Yeah. But it's just like seeing everyone in the cast and like how reminiscent it is of like continuing the story of Rebels as well.
And oh shit! Yeah, I gotta watch Rebels.
You gotta watch Rebels, buddy.
We got like 20 days. Oh shit! Gotta smash that out.
Watching. And that's the thing, because I think like literally all the episodes are being done were directed and written by Dave Filoni as well. So you know,
it's a good sign.
It's gonna be good.
I think it's a good sign.
Oh,
and I hope it's good.
Potential spoilers. Possibly spoilers.
No, you're watching, Ben.
Hayden Christensen is going to be in this as well.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like they already confirmed that. Yeah.
They've confirmed that like 4 times.
Hugh Yang. Hugh Yang.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
Yes.
He's the robot guy.
He's the robot guy, and it's going to be fun. And then we obviously got Grand Admiral Thrawn is the big bad guy they're setting up for
the
Star
Wars
good. Universe. And it actually is played by the voice actor from Rebels as well. And it's just like, yes.
He looks good. The last trailer with Thrawn, the first look we got at Thrawn, I wasn't 100% convinced, but the last look we got at Thrawn, I'm like, whoa, yes. Yes, please. I want Thrawn.
And it's got
I want it to be done with.
Kenobi's Hugh McGregor's wife as well is in this show. Mary Elizabeth Winstead
Hera
plays as Hera. Yeah. And then you got Sabine, Captain Enoch. Iman Estefani will play Ezra Bridger in this show. Yeah. It's going to be like kind of funky to see what they like. I would say they're gonna wait until like the final episode to actually be like, Ezra's here now. Because of like what happened because of Rebels and stuff. You need to go watch Rebels, man.
Yeah.
And
I hope that they do that because I want this to be an Ahsoka show.
I just read something. I just read something on IMDb that I am very happy about now. So obviously, Tamara Morrison is Boba Fett, the clones, and everything like that. So a lot of people were like, "Oh, they're gonna have like clones in this potentially," because obviously Ahsoka being involved in Clone Wars and everything like that. He is going to be playing a live-action version of Captain Rex, who is my favorite clone trooper of all time.
Rex is going to be like 400 years old in this show, or it better be flashbacks.
Yes. Well, that's the thing, because this is obviously after Mandalorian season 3.
I think like 6 or 7 years after.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the thing, because when they like, because Captain Rex was in the Battle of Endor. He was in Return of the Jedi. They kind of like canonized him in. Yeah, he is canonized now to be in there. If you actually go and read the Eclopia and everything like that, he is the guy with the white beard. That is confirmed now.
Stupid.
But yeah, this is a show I just want to be out already. Because then straight after this, obviously that leads into Loki.
Oh yes. Oh, they might cross over a little bit, do they? Do they work out kind of? See, I don't know.
When does
because Ahsoka's 8 episodes, so there's going to be 6 more weeks after the first one.
Oh yeah, because Loki starts
at least 2 months.
October 6.
Yeah, so it will cross over a little bit. Which is cool. Fine, we can talk about both. We got time. We got podcasting. We got things.
We got podcasting.
Gonna enjoy both of those.
It's scheduled to conclude on October 4th. So 2 days before.
It works out perfect.
So it works out, it works out well.
You bastards.
Yeah.
Planning it.
Because that's what I thought. I'm just like, they're not going to have like their 2 biggest shows of the year like overlapping. There's like, no, we're going to write them butt up to each other.
Cool. That works out well. That works out awesome. That covers the back half of our podcast for the year.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
No, both.
We don't have to do any work.
That's for sure. Nope.
Nice.
We
hope so. If both of those shows suck, I'm losing faith in humanity.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing, because the only reason I'm looking forward to Ahsoka a lot more is because like Dave Filoni this is his like what I think he's always wanted to do for the Ahsoka character. Man. Yeah, because even back when they're talking Clone Wars, and Clone Wars is over 15 years old now, way over 15, probably close to 20 years old.
Wow.
When it first started.
Yeah, almost.
Already back then, he was talking about like Ahsoka's character wanting to be like live action. And already back then, they were talking about Rosario Dawson will play her type thing. Like that was already a thing back then. That worked out.
Worked out fine.
And I think him being in charge and directing all the episodes by the looks of it, and like writing them all and everything like that. I feel like Disney just like let him do his own thing. Yeah, that's a very good sign. And I think that's what kind of what the bad thing was with Mandalorian season 3, where it was like just a whole bunch of like different people doing it, and it got a bit confusing because that's the thing. He was working on Ahsoka, obviously. Like that's his baby. This is his character that he made.
Yeah.
Type thing. So yeah.
Oh man,
it's going to be very, very, very interesting.
You know what? You know what would be really funny? We get to Ahsoka. It's the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka, and then it's just the Mando show for the middle of it until it's Ahsoka again.
Oh no!
It's like a Boba Fett all over. I saw someone on Instagram post that. It's like, I can't wait for Mando season 3.5. I'm like, man, they can't keep doing this. I really hope this show's good. I hope it's good. If it's bad and Loki's bad, I'm uninstalling Disney Plus. I can't do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Can't do it, man. I can't do it.
Yeah, already this past year with like their films and stuff like that. Well, the biggest like Disney film this year anyway has been Guardians of the Galaxy, which we know now. That level of quality for Disney is never going to happen again because James Gunn is obviously running DC
until
now.
we get jobs there.
Yeah, until we get jobs there. But at this point in time, I'd rather work for DC if I'm being honest.
You can work for DC. I'll go work for Marvel, and we can like fight.
We'll be the 2 guys that finally do like the crossover event between like DC and Marvel.
Yeah,
we'll make that a possibility. Yeah.
Make Superman fight the Hulk.
Exactly, it'd be great.
Oh yeah, it'll be awesome. Get there, we'll do that.
We'll do that.
Disney not happy, not good. Disney, step up your game, make good shit, and people will buy.
And then obviously there's still stuff going over at DC at the moment that James Gunn and Peter Safran are still trying to fix because they're kind of like
cleaning house.
At the moment they're stuck with Aquaman because obviously that's like the final one that got made and they didn't have any input to.
And Blue Beetle.
We don't know what to do with this. We don't know what to do with this film.
Might as well release it. It's gonna make money. I think.
Oh no, they are.
Movie.
I think they're still releasing it end of this year. I think is still the plan because they're like originally going to push it back again.
I think it might have got pushed back again. I know Blue Beetle's coming out. Look it up because it might have got pushed back again.
20th of December. It's still coming out.
Okay, all right.
So it's still coming out this year. Yeah.
All right, that's good. Sure, I'll watch it. It'll probably be okay.
Because Blue Beetle is this month. Is 18th of August.
Yeah, we'll have to go watch that.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think it's still going to be better than it comes out 14th of September in Australia. Blue Beetle.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I think it's still going to be better than The Flash.
I reckon it's going to be on par with like a Shazam or something. Yeah, it's going to just be a fun Aquaman style movie. Yeah, like Aquaman or Shazam. It'll be fun. Sure. So that's all I really want from a Blue Beetle movie. If the Blue Beetle movie is the greatest superhero movie ever made, I'm going to be disappointed.
Oh, you didn't tell the other breaking news that happened at DC this week that I sent you. Did you? You're missing so much news. You missed out so much news this week. Turns out Wonder Woman 3 might still be a possibility at DC with Gal Gadot returning as Wonder Woman. Apparently she's been in talks with James Gunn and Peter Safran to do a Wonder Woman 3, which is just like,
that's right.
What?
I was saving that news. Canned. The director's cut. That was director's news. That's what that is.
Yeah, definitely director's cut.
True news. Oh, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, wink.
You know, that movie feels weird because it's like if that movie comes out, it's going to be for the old timeline.
Well, here's the thing. I think maybe
Wonder Woman, right?
Well, that's the thing, because at this point in time, with the Wonder Woman character, I can't see anyone else besides Gal Gadot actually playing Wonder Woman.
See, I've never really liked her as Wonder Woman. I'm in the minority here.
Yeah.
She's very one note. She is very monotone as just an actor.
Yeah.
I just really don't like her.
Well, I mean, I haven't watched her in anything else. The only thing like I've watched her in is like as Wonder Woman.
Noticed.
So That's right. That was a movie.
Not much. Yeah, Wonder Woman really put her on the map, and yeah, she's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
Just as a person. I don't know. I want someone maybe with a little bit more charisma, a little bit more energy to bring to a Wonder Woman. And she's good. She's fine. She works. I like the first Wonder Woman movie up until the end of it. The second one doesn't exist, and then the third one, it might be good.
Yeah. Well, that's it, because since they've like announced this now, I'm kind of, because that's the thing. James Gunn hasn't said anything about it.
I'll ask him.
She's the only one that's like come out and said stuff. Oh, I've had meetings.
Well, James.
And stuff like that. James, what's up, mate?
James, what's up?
Send
him a message. He actually might respond.
He responds
to Instagram comments a lot.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Like it's like every now and again, like he'll just like something. Wait, that's the thing. He liked my like pictures when I was talking about comic books and stuff like that. When I had like Ben Affleck's Batman cowl, he's like, haha,
true.
So like it's kind of a bit weird that they're just like still trying to keep these actors, because I know Jason Momoa has had talks with James Gunn and Peter Safran about staying in the DC universe, and apparently as Lobo potentially, which would be really cool if you get anyone to be Lobo character. I would get Jason Momoa. That just fits so well. But it's still going to be strange seeing him go from Aquaman straight into being Lobo, depending on when they want to do it all and stuff like that.
Well, it'll be a few years, especially because Lobo is a weird character. I think they wouldn't bring him in straight away.
But yeah, no, I've said this so many times now when we've talked about DC and what James Gunn's trying to do. I am so happy on what potentially he's able to achieve with these characters and everything like that, and what he can show as a filmmaker.
Good. It better be good.
And that's the thing, because obviously the first big film that comes out 2025, early 2025, will be Superman. Yeah, I'm still wondering who they're going to get as Lex Luthor as well. They still haven't announced that yet.
It would be
They've announced obviously who Superman will be, but it's like who's going to be Lex Luthor?
Who would you want as Lex Luthor? That's a tough one.
Ooh,
that's a tough one.
James McAvoy.
No. Michael Fassbender. Ooh,
that's what. Yeah, we've said that before.
Funky. Michael Caine. Michael Caine, Lex Luthor would be funny. Oh, Mr. Superman.
Apparently another person to add onto the Superman legacy list of potential people for Lex Luthor is Adam Driver.
No, I don't want that.
Because it's like it's so much at the moment, even as well over at Disney with this whole Fantastic Four shit as well going on.
They want Adam Driver in everything.
Adam Driver basically said no to Disney. And so did Margot Robbie.
You blame him? You blame him. Yeah. They want people with eyes, ears, and mouths to be in the Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Oh man, we would rock a Fantastic Four. You can be Mr. Fantastic and I'll dibs Human Torch. Let's go. Or you can be the Thing.
Yeah. It's clobbering time.
Yeah, you're basically the Thing. That's awesome.
I'm basically the Thing.
All you'd have to do is avoid.
So at the moment, this is from CBR.com. Lex Luthor has been making headlines recently as reported that Gunn is looking for a new actor to play the iconic Superman villain. Previous rumors stated that his Lex Luthor shortlist includes siblings. That's right. I remember about this. Alexander Skarsgård and Bill Skarsgård. So they're both running for it. And then Nicholas Hoult.
Okay. I feel like either of them could pull it off. You know what would be really cool? We get a Henry Cavill Lex Luthor. I feel like Henry Cavill could do an awesome Lex Luthor.
He's currently in no production at the moment because no one wants to talk with him. I know.
But imagine that. Shave his head and put him as the villain.
It would be funny. Really cool. It would be funny. It would be
funny, and I feel like he'd do a really good job. Like, Superman aside, I feel like he'd do a good job. Oh, come on. It's Henry Cavill, man. He's Superman. He's the Witcher.
Buff Superman. He's not the Witcher anymore. Not anymore. That's gone now. Season 3's finished. He's no longer the Witcher.
I didn't watch it.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
Well. Did you watch
Such
it?
a bad season. Yeah.
I haven't even watched the second season. I'll give you that.
Well, here's the thing, because I thought that they were going to like kill him off in a way at the end of season 3.
Talked about doing an in reason.
Yeah. Like, no. They're just like, he's still alive and he just walks away type thing with Yaskia. And they're like, all right, we've got to save Siri.
Season 4 is going to start with him walking out of a plastic surgery clinic as one of the Hemsworths.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'm going to like bolt the webcam to my monitor.
Yeah. No, but Alexander or Bill Skarsgård as Lex Luthor, that would be pretty cool. I'm kind of hoping more Alexander Skarsgård.
Yes.
Especially if they want to go a bit more like
which one's that one?
With Superman. That's the
one is that one?
One from Northman. The buff one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I
think I could see him because he's like a bit more mature looking as well. So he would be like a bit older than the actor they got for the new Superman, which I can't remember the guy's name who's the new Superman.
Neither, but I remember.
All I know, he's got a massive,
gonna be good,
massive cock, massive.
What?
There was a
I missed
picture
that
behind
news
the
story
scenes of him like at the beach. David
suit?
Corran's suite. No, he wasn't in the suit. He was just at the beach and he just had like shorts on and this massive bulge.
David Corran's sweat beach photo. A second, I'm pulling this up. Jesus Christ! Whoa!
This guy's definitely Superman, that's for sure. He's packing.
Why is there like 30 photos? Oh my God.
Here's the thing, right? He's going to have to be in a Superman suit.
Looking at him like this, he's going to rock a Superman suit.
Oh, yeah.
Real. Also, wear some underwear, dude. Like, bro's packing. Director's cut, everybody. You get only the finest. Jamie, can you pull up that penis photo?
Pull up the penis photo? But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting when like all that starts to come out, and well, that's the thing because they've obviously got like Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner.
It starts to come out. Everyone, yeah. Hawk Girl is that other lady, and bald dude. What was it? Metamorpho.
Metamorpho, that's right. Yeah,
and Mr. Terrific as well. All of these B-listers, these Justice League B-lifters, man. B-listers, honestly.
Yeah.
Except for Guy Gardner, he's probably B-list.
James Gunn, hey buddy, if you like our podcast and listening to this, let me do a Mr. Miracle film, please, because nobody knows who the fuck he is.
I still don't know who he is. And I'll play Nightwing in your Teen Titans movie. I'm still up for that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Let me be Mr. Miracle and also write it, and you can direct it.
Well, that's the thing. Is James Gunn directing any of these DC movies, or is he just
directing
like,
Superman?
It?
He's directing
just Superman so far
at the moment because that's the only one they've announced.
Wonder how much he's going to do.
And they've also got James Mangold writing and directing Swamp Thing.
Could be cool. I like a good Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah,
Thing's cool.
That'd be good.
He's just a plant guy.
Yeah, because I was actually like thinking the other day about like maybe potentially actually just writing a draft script of Mr. Miracle based upon the Tom King book, like for screenplay purposes.
No one else is, Barry.
Yeah. But then I was like thinking, who would I get to direct this film? And I was like thinking, oh yeah, like there's a few directors. And then like it just all of a sudden, because of I've been looking at Lawrence Shu's work, who is a director behind a very big film called Joker, which is one of my favorite films of the time. Get Todd Phillips to direct Mr. Miracle. And I was like, that could work so well because you have this character that has like mental illness problems and everything like that, and do it like really psychedelic type of stuff and kind of Houdini style as well, because he basically got Houdini but with superpowers. And I was like,
gotta read that Mr. Miracle run.
Todd Phillips would
gotta read that comic book run, man.
I'll give it to you. I'll get the copy out and I'll see you tomorrow and I'll
lend
give
it to me.
Yeah,
I want to read it.
Precious with it. Precious. It's the precious.
I will. Well, I've just gotten back into reading some comic books. I read my first Punisher comic today. That was pretty cool. I read Welcome Back, Frank. That run. I got both of those, part 1 and part 2. I read that. It was pretty good. It wasn't the best Punisher that I've ever seen, but that comic was okay. It was cool. But yeah, getting back into it. Good.
Cool.
Nice. Well, should we wrap up the director's cut?
That will be the director's cut. Thank you all for joining today's director's cut, and we'll catch you next time. We'll be doing something again.
Or will we? Burn. Die, Barry. Got him. It's my podcast now, folks.
And my destiny is I'm just kidding. All right, catch you all later. See ya.
See you on the flip side.